right.
This meeting is.
Are you sure? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy first day of fall. I am celebrating fall, even though it doesn't feel like that today. Tomorrow's going to be a nice 60-degree day. I'm wearing long sleeves. I can't wait.
Let me just tell you something. I went to not that you want to hear this, but I went to the Steeler game Sunday, and after sitting out in that hot weather, I'm ready for fall. I was worse Sunday. I thought we were in the upper section, like where it's covered. Here we're in section 124. I was deep in the heart.
That's good seats, though.
They got big.
I don't want to hear that.
The Browns won, in case anybody cares. The Browns did win.
You're in Steeler country.
All right, we're just going to start the prayer, please. Would you join us in our Father's prayer, please?
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
And the pledge of allegiance, please. Go back here.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test.
We have to stand on our side.
First,
Is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will build goodwill and better friendship. Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you very much. So we're going to start today's meeting introducing a special guest. You are very special. Ashley Kotson. Perfect. Okay, great. So Ashley was wonderful enough to reach out to us and wanted to join us for a meeting. Ashley is this a new position for you?
Yeah.
It's a new position of the Community Relations Director for the Salvation Army. And is most likely going to be joining us here at Rotary once I send her an email. So wonderful. So is there anything you want to share with us, Ashley?
It's a new position. I'm just trying to go out to the community, build relations, meet everybody, see what everybody, does, spread the word of what we do. I'm here. I'm excited.
I love getting those messages that somebody who's interested in our club and wants to join us. So thank you so much for reaching out to us and actually being here the first week that you could have been after you were invited. So thank you so much. And we're excited to have you. Great partnership always with the Salvation Army.
For sure.
So Jennifer George was unable to be here tonight or today, but I saw her last night. She's been coming to my fitness classes with her mom, and it's been awesome. They are amazing women. But she wanted to share that find it here on October 1st at the Continuing Healthcare of Shadyside, where Jennifer works, they're doing a blood drive. So I have a bunch of flyers if anybody wants to take them. It'll be Friday, October 1st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's just right over there in Shadyside. So if anybody wants to take those flyers, please join us. We have the Dungeon of Horrors that we are definitely going to be a part of this year. I did send out an email about it. I've got a pretty great response. I know at this time, I think we have Katrina, Sarah, and myself all said that we would work the event. Brianna has been wonderful and said that she would do some shopping for the treats. And Dorothy reached out and said that she would either donate treats or some money towards it. Joni said that she wants to do something. She's just been a little busy with everything in life right now. So just throwing that out there. That is October 25th. It's a Monday. And it's going to be at the Moundsville... Is it the Moundsville Center? Is that the Stanford School?
That's a penitentiary.
The Moundsville, it is the penitentiary, Moundsville
Yeah,
Center?
it's for the haunted house, right?
Okay, well, that's what I assumed, but I didn't know it was called the Moundsville Center.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
Now you know.
Yes, it's a one-night event. It's called Dungeon of Horrors. And it's going to be like a trick-or-treat style event at the penitentiary that'll include games, treats, and candies. And they're doing a kids' night, and it'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. on that Monday. And it's a trick-or-treat station that we would set up, and we could do any kind of theme. So that's what I think we just need to kind of brainstorm if we want to do a theme or just get creative. And I know that we want to hand out treats, and this is more for kids. I don't know, and would we even want to hand out flyers or anything like that, or just, you know, like put compliments of Moundsville Rotary Club, something like that, maybe like a little.
We could just have a sign that said Moundsville, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
kids aren't gonna.
That's what I'm saying, and then I don't want to like try to target their parents through handing kids flyers. I think that's kind of.
But they do have parents with them, so what if we had, just had the flyers of just a few.
Oh, like on the table or something.
Yeah, not live,
Absolutely.
just a few in case somebody was interested.
Oh yeah, love that. All right, so if anybody else wants to attend that or wants to do some shopping with Brianna, just let us know. We'd be happy to have you. And then, Nan, I wanted to follow up with you regarding the lending libraries. Did you want me to reach out to that woodshop teacher or?
I will,
To find out the materials. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. So the ball's rolling there. I know Ace definitely is going to donate once we figure out what we need for that. And then just a friendly reminder, 2 things. So if you have any photos or any projects that the club has done in the past, however many years, we have been 102 years. Is that Moundsville?
Probably.
I think so. So if anybody was back there, back in, you know, the beginning ages.
Bob might have been.
Sharon.
So if you have any photos, you can easily upload those to DACTV. And I'm telling you how easy it is. I went through like my Facebook and like all my photos for the last year and a half, and I have probably like 30 photos. I'm like, oh goodness gracious, this is gonna take me, you know, 4 days of uploading. Drag and drop. And it
Oh, really?
like that. So
I've got
DACTV
tons.
has got it going on. That's our Rotary like website, the main hub. And so
I have tons, I'll go,
I
I
was-
just haven't even tried.
blown away how quick and fast it worked. I don't know if you can actually see them, but I can see them. So Brianna can please tell me if she's able to see them too.
You can see them and
That next week, Brianna's,
She said something.
what'd you say, Brianna?
sorry, I just said you can see them and you can also, sorry, my video's off, I'm in my office, but so you can see them, but you can also, this might be a huge help to me later. If you want to title your photo so I know where it's coming from, you can actually change that. So instead of it being like XYZ 1, 2, 3, you can just go ahead if you know what it is. If not, it's fine. But you can easily rename those too, and then they're all in the same thing. And I think everyone has access to those. So yeah.
Great. And the way I did it was when I just emailed them all to myself. And when I saved them to my computer, I labeled it like Christmas stocking project. So when I uploaded, it automatically uploaded with all the titles. So I was like, wow, this is so awesome. It was like, blew my mind. So wonderful.
I wonder if you can get it
And-
there from Facebook.
Hmm?
Can you get it there from Facebook?
Yeah, just save the picture from
Because
Facebook.
if you go back into our Rotary photos.
I did. I did some of them, not all of them, but
They always think of that.
And then next week, Brianna will be our speaker doing a DACTV training for us. So just a reminder to bring your laptop or iPad or anything that you can navigate on, just so we could all kind of do it at the same time. Oh, just a couple different things that are going on through our district that I just wanted to make everybody aware about. On October 16th, they are doing the Rotary Leadership Institute, and that's going to be down in Charleston. It's a one-day event, and I want to say that, let's see here, this gives you more information. That's a different event. So the Rotary Leadership Institute, I unfortunately will not be able to, I know you aren't going to be able to do that because that's your wedding. But
Priorities.
Reception.
Priorities.
yes. But
Go to Ryan.
if anybody from our club would be able to attend that, I can send you the information. It's great for anybody in our club. You do not have to be an officer or anything like that, just to learn more about Rotary. Then on October 23rd, it's a Saturday, they are doing a regroup Recommit, Reboot, and Rebuild is for membership summit for 2021. And this is going to be down in Stonewall, okay? And once again, this would be for membership chair, President-elect Cody. I know he's not here, but he's gonna rewatch this and I'm gonna scream at him. So, or any of our members that wanna learn more and help us grow our membership. And there's a bunch of information about that. And then lastly, one more thing, it seems like every Saturday they have something going on here in the next couple months, but November 5th is a Saturday as well. It is down in Charleston at the Edgewood Country Club. It is going to be a foundation, District Rotary Foundation celebration. I will be attending this. This is for anybody in our Rotary Club that wants to go. It's going to be, they're gonna have a cocktail hour and dinner and drinks. It's from 5:30 to 8:30. Stephanie
Urchak.
Thank you very much. Is going to be the speaker, and they're going to do some different presentations. And they actually asked me to speak about our Wellsprings grant. So
Which one is that? Which thing is that?
that is November 5th, and that is the District Rotary Foundation celebration. And it's going to be $40 per person, and that covers our food and cost there. Does our club reimburse for those?
Not usually. If we're required to go, like Pets, the president's cover
Yes.
because they're required to go. Some clubs do reimburse everybody, but then that's using money that we don't really have.
Well,
We don't
I'll
want
just
to
put it
use
out there. If you want to attend any of these 3 trainings or celebrations that I just spoke of, and it's something to do with money issues, I will pay for you. So.
Well, I write it off. In fact, I mean, it helps somewhat. Just close your ears, you too. I write it off. Because I'm only in Rotary because of my job, right? And so I write it off as either travel or education under Mary
That's
Cat.
because you have business. Unless you have to have a business.
Oh, yeah, sorry, okay. Well, I can sign y'all up real quick.
No, I just want to put that out there though, because I don't want anybody
Text my IRS agent.
getting excluded because of monetary issues right now. I know the world is a little different. Is there anything else that? Yeah, Sharon.
I want to say, well, because you're talking about all these things that people need to go out to, and people sometimes don't want to go out to things because we're all busy, and a lot of them are on Saturday, and we don't want to give up our Saturday because it's family time or it's whatever, and we got things to do, blah, 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 blah. I'm the same way. Got it. However, our corporate membership program has been great for our club. And that was from a district membership training that we learned that. So many things that we do are things that someone has gone to a district or a multi-club event and learned from it. Today at 2:30, I'm talking to a guy from a Rotary Club in South Carolina that I found out from my friend Paula, who used to be in something big in our zone. Zone is, we're in a district and districts are in zones. Okay, so Paula was in the zone and somebody else in the zone. But we're friends on Facebook, and she put this thing on about their new impact club, and it's only the 3rd one in the world and how wonderful it is. And what she was saying is like, well, this sounds like something we could use. And I messaged her and she messaged me back, and she's now connected me with a guy that set it up, and it's like a satellite club, but they don't have to go to meetings. It's a group of people that want to do what Rotary does, but they work on service projects only. And I don't know.
Do they like get together virtually or?
I don't know. I'll know at 2:30 today.
Wonderful.
I will find out more when I meet my new friend, Patrick, at 2:30. But that's from going to a district event. So, I mean, I've met people that, I have Mary Kay customers through the district because I met them at district events. And, it helps our club. I've learned things that I use personally. Going to these events is a good thing to do. And our Rotary Leadership Institute is one that, man, that's a good training. If you've never been, the first session, so many things that you you come out of there going, oh, that's what Rotary's really all about. I was so much more committed after I went to the first one, and I was pretty committed by the time I went there. And I've done all 3 of them, and they've all 3 been great. So I really recommend it at some point in time you go to Rotary Leadership Institute. And again, it's good networking for Rotary. It's also good for you personally. So go to the stuff.
I will piggyback on that. I had the opportunity to go to 2 so far this year, and I've met a really great friend now who is the president of Weston. And it's just wonderful because you can see what's working for other clubs, doesn't work for other clubs, share some information. But yeah, I mean, I came back there now with a wonderful, great friend that we talk weekly. And so they are very, very, very beneficial and learn so much. I do want to share briefly and then turn it over to our wonderful speaker I can't wait to hear from. I did purchase speakers presents, so I need the club's help because I am not creative. I don't know why I feel like you're going to be very creative and give me all the answers I'm looking for. So I was sharing with Sharon and Bob. I said I just didn't want anything to look cheap, and a lot of the stuff on Russell Hampton kind of expensive, cheap to me. So I was able to get these glasses. I wonder if this is what you received from Weirton.
Kind of. The one I have is, it honestly looks more like a heavy drinking glass. It's thicker and frosted, but it's the same concept, yes.
Okay. Well, I was pretty excited to get these. They have the rotary wheel, rotary. Yeah, and they were like $4.25 per person. And what I was thinking, and this is where I need your help to be creative. So we have a bunch of rotary pens. So I didn't know if we wanted to do like a rotary pen in there and maybe some mints or something, but I don't know. Spruce it up. So just
Chocolate.
Probably right. But my thing is if I drive around with chocolate in my car.
We'll just give Olive Garden mints.
Olive Garden mints.
There you go.
The only thing is though is I usually keep these in my car.
Oh,
So
not
chocolates
chocolate.
would not do so well.
No.
But we are going into the fall season,
True.
so maybe fall and winter we can do chocolates. Spring and summer we'll do mints. If anybody has some great,
Put some Chardonnay.
I mean, I'd be at a meeting every day of the week that way. But yeah, if anybody has any great ideas, let me know when it comes to that, and we're excited to present those. Is there anything else that our club wants to share?
I have a quick question. What date did you say you need me to fill in?
It'll be October, I think 13th or 14th, whatever that Wednesday is. I think it's the
Okay, yeah, that's
13th.
what I couldn't remember if it was the first
I think
Wednesday
it's
or
the
the second
13th is on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I get back on the 11th.
That's
one.
so
Hopefully
good for you.
that's an unlucky number, 13.
It's
Oh,
not
no,
bad.
it works for
It's a
me.
lucky
Yeah, I
number.
didn't know if it was the first Wednesday in October or the second one.
Yes, the second.
Yep, that's not a problem.
Thanks, Mike. Well, it is my pleasure to turn it over to our guest speaker today. Not guest, she is one of us, Rotarian. So Shelly Thomas, Karen Bauer. How do you say?
Well, it will be eventually.
Eventually, it will be Karen Bauer, but she's going to share with us her new position at WesBanco.
So I think we were at the annual picnic and somebody came up to me and was like, "What bank is it that you work at?" And I thought, I'm doing a terrible job, obviously. I'm very talkative and probably talking about everything else that I have going on and not enough about my work. So I am at WesBanco. My title is Vice President Commercial Lender. And I think a lot of times not everyone knows what that means. I've been at the bank at WesBanco for 10 years, and I've had several positions through there. When I first came on, I was a banking center manager, so I was the manager of a branch. I knew before I even started at WesBanco that I really like to do business loans, and I really wanted to do that. So whenever I came to WesBanco, that was something that I kept pushing. I wanted to be, in the business. So I was a manager for a few years, and a business banking position came up. And what that meant at the time was I think managers could do loans like up to a certain dollar amount. I don't remember what that was, but the business bankers could do loans up to $2 million. So it was like 500,000 to 2 million was the business banker. So I really, wanted to do business banking. I did that for a few years. commercial lenders, that job doesn't really come up a whole lot. It seems like we've had the same people. I think we have 5 in our area now, which we're headquartered here in Wheeling, so we actually have more probably in our market than what a lot of the other markets have. And so commercial lenders do loans, which is now 3 million and above. And so there wasn't even an opening. I mean, nobody was retiring. There wasn't really an opening. So they, asked me, Shelly, is this something that you're interested in? Because a lot of the loans that I was taking up were above that dollar amount, and I'd have to give it to somebody else. And I was like, I worked really hard for this. I hate to just keep giving my loans away. But so they created that position for me. And so by doing that, I had 0 portfolio. Usually you inherit someone else's business whenever they retire or they leave or whatever. So I kind of started out with just a couple of my clients that I had that had, went over the 3 million or whatever, but I started at 0. And so I had an opportunity to kind of, do kind of some of the things that I like to do. And that happened to be municipal lending. And we didn't have anyone that had municipal lending. WesBanco doesn't have anyone in our, entire bank that has that. And so this year they've actually started a position. And so I'm I'm creating this position, which is in the state of West Virginia. And so where I just do municipal loans. So what that means is I'll do loans for Board of Educations. I do loans. I already had some hospitals and colleges is kind of what I was doing most loans for. So with that, now I'm doing a lot of Board of Educations. I'll do, city of Moundsville, city of Charleston. So, if they're doing any kind of lending, typically I do, school boards. So and it could be anywhere in the state. So if Wayne County is building a new bus garage, or if, right now I'm working with something like Berkeley County is doing, building a new school or whatever it is. And those opportunities come up a good bit. Most of the people that we look at doing these loans or we bid against, I guess, there's no other bank in the state of West Virginia who's doing this. So United doesn't have anyone. We're kind of bidding against Bank of America and, Wells Fargo or some of the larger banks. So it's new territory for our bank, but we continue to grow. I'm sure, and hopefully maybe people know this, and if not, so WesBanco is headquartered in Wheeling. I think we're the largest business entity in the state that's headquartered in the state of West Virginia, outside of West Virginia WVU Health Systems, and as far as most employees, but we're 17 billion. And we are in 7 states now. So we're in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, Indiana, Kentucky. And so now, and we were going south, or west and southwest. And now we're starting to go east because we just bought, I think it was a $3.5 billion bank in Maryland. So we're around the DC market and Frederick, Maryland. So which kind of puts us in the Eastern Panhandle as well. So we actually kind of grew our presence within West Virginia too. So that is exciting. It keeps me busy. I think I've missed a lot of meetings here lately, and it's really just because, I'm keeping the job that I have, which is a commercial lender, and staying very busy with that. And then also, creating this new position from the ground up and within the market and the state really. So, and we're seeing a lot of, it's really been beneficial. We actually, and I know Mike, you would, obviously is an accountant and has some of the PSDs or public service departments. And we, so something that I'm working on, it's kind of taken a little bit, is a lot of the public service departments, they do USDA loans. A lot of people do USDA loans and they're fixed rates for 30, 40 years. Our bank's not doing 30, 40 year fixed rates for, public service districts. No one really is. So the USDA has that niche and that's something that they do. But now our bank is able to do interim financing. So as the project is being built, so maybe someone is, and I'm going to say Braxton County, I don't know, but say Braxton County is adding a new water line, and now, they're taking this water to 200 new residents in Braxton County that didn't have water before or whatever. This is going to be a several $1 million project. The USDA doesn't finance that until the project is over. So a lot of times, they have trouble finding that interim financing. And so in the state of West Virginia, the West Virginia USDA has always kind of done that, and it's not supposed to be done from a federal level. So they have had to, reach out to us. So that's something that we are doing. I'm doing the first USDA interim financing loan in the state, which is like, you guys don't think that's a big deal, but it was a big deal for us that we're doing that. And now we're able to do that through the whole state. And so, and then, I get to do loans for airports, and if bigger airport expands and now they're going to an international airport and they have all these things going on. So it's really fun that, we get to be a part of, and especially here locally, we have someone that's a part of, all these different developments that are happening within our state. But it keeps me busy, and most of the stuff is actually being put on by the bond council, and there's just a few attorneys here in the state that handle the bonds, and all these are bond transactions, but that's kind of what has been keeping me busy with that. So that is a new position, and my title hasn't changed yet, but I figure that it'll just stay vice president and probably go to municipal lending. Hopefully maybe next year. We just kind of started it in February of this year. And it's something that I really wanted to do for a while. And I keep going to the bank and I'm like, well, I'm already doing all these, like we were kind of doing some Board of Educations up here, and people in Charleston couldn't get any approved. Like, how are you getting these done? And they were just different. I mean, we're used to looking at tax returns or, audits or whatever for businesses that make profit. And then now you have to look at it from the opposite and say, okay, we're looking at municipals or, that are not for profit. I mean, their job is to, bring in the money and spend that money to enhance the community that they're in. So it's just a little bit, whenever you're looking at those numbers, it's a little bit different. But so that's, pretty exciting for me that I kept going to the bank like, I want this job. Shelly, we don't have that job. I want you to create this job. And I kept saying, create this job. And they're like, if we do, we're going to have to hire someone who has like the expertise. Like, we're going to have to hire someone from outside. And so finally, I just kept doing them, and I just kept getting them approved and pushing them and pushing, like, you can't tell me no. Like, this is a really good deal, and I want to do this. And so, and it's been really good. And we have, we've been, I have relationships with, as you continue to do this, you grow relationships with people. Obviously, that's why we're up here, with bond attorneys or with, especially in Charleston, and everyone's like, oh, I know this person, you constantly get introduced. So now we're, I have the treasurer of the state come up and meet, and, so hopefully we have opportunities to kind of move even the state accounts over. And so it's very, high level, very exciting for me. I mean, I like that thrill. I'm constantly, busy and like checking my phone. I'm sure you see me checking the phone all the time. But then I also have downtime. So on my personal life, I think in the last few weeks, I've gotten married, and that's been exciting. I'm 37, and so David, Karen Bauer, and I just got married September 1st, and we did a week. We did a week destination wedding with our families, both of our families. So we did that, and then we kind of took like a mini honeymoon, I guess. But we leave next Wednesday, hopefully, to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks. So I've been in and out of the office a good bit, and so that's been exciting. Outside of that, I also am currently on the board of the YWCA, and I think we've had Lori Jones and some of the staff from the YWCA come here to present. I've been on the board at the YWCA for, this is my 7th year, it'll be my 8th year, and I'm currently the president, and that's a 2-year. So I started that July 1st of 2020, right in COVID, I did that, but I've been on the board for a while, and we have 25 women on the board, and it's a very, very active board. The YWCA, we have, meetings once a month. I have meetings several times a month, and but it's very active. The YWCA is, services several 5-6 counties, and so it's a lot. And they do a lot of grant work. So the president, I'm constantly down there signing off on grants, and really active with that. This will be my last year for that, and 8 years was kind of the end of that. So then I'll go on to be a sustainer. So hopefully, not that I've not enjoyed my time there, I have, and I think it's really beneficial, and it's probably one of the best. I was really happy to be able to serve on that board and to have served as president. Right now, we're actually doing a capital campaign, and we're doing improvements to the building. So we're wanted to be at 5 million. I think we're up to 6 million that we're doing historic tax credits and redoing the building, because the building at the YWCA is almost 120 years old. So we're going to be revamping that, and which is exciting. Probably another reason they always, make sure that they have a banker as the president whenever they're going through any kind of financing like that. So we're in the middle of that. That's obviously very time consuming, but it's going to be, a big change for downtown Wheeling and for that organization and what we're able to do right now. We don't really have any handicap facilities. Our building doesn't have air conditioning. I mean, there's just so many things that we don't have that we're not able to offer because of the age and of the building, but we want to continue to stay there. And so that's happening. And then I'm also on the board of governors for West Virginia Northern Community College. And that's kind of one that you can't say, yes or no to. The governor appoints you to that. We're in Wheeling, and obviously Northern has a campus in New Martinsville as well as Weirton. I think that I was, they had reached out. They knew that I had done I do financing for colleges, so they knew that I understood that aspect of it. And so a couple of people were asking from the college if, I'd ever thought about that. I'm like, how do you get on? I'm like, you have to be appointed by the governor. So I sent my resume to the governor's office, didn't know how that would all work. And not long after I got a questionnaire back and, filled all that out, but it's been fun. I mean, the main thing on that board is you kind of do the hiring and firing of the president, which as soon as I got on there, that was like day one. And we had a president had been let go. And so then we helped with hiring the new president, which right now is Dr. Mosser. Yesterday, Wheeling, I was at Northern, they had they're doing their 50th year anniversary. So yesterday we buried a time capsule, and that was pretty exciting that they'll dig up in 25 years. But it's very active. I mean, West Virginia Northern Community does so much for the local community, and I have a master's degree in economics, so I'm kind of always looking at it from the economic impact and just some of the things and the dollar amounts that they bring in, and then the number of citizens that go through the program and stay here locally to continue to get jobs, and our workforce programs that we're able to offer is really impressive. A lot of the times we're kind of, we kind of vote in, what classes that we want to offer, vote out the classes that, we don't really have a lot of attendance with. And I think it's, a lot of people on the board kind of make those introductions to some of those workforce and some of the businesses here locally. So it was beneficial for me since I knew a lot of the businesses and was able to make that connection for them. So that keeps me busy as well. But when I get off of being president of YWCA, I'm the co-chair of the board at Northern now. So I think I'll then go into be a chair of the board at Northern for 2 years. And then my goal is to hopefully be able to come to more Rotary meetings. I would like to, I keep saying I really had to cut back some of the boards that I was on. And some of my commitments, but Rotary has been honestly one of the most rewarding and one of my favorite clubs to be in. So I try to come as often as I can, and I know my attendance isn't great, but I think in the last year, for the last few years, I've written the grant that we've written for Wellsprings. I think just, over COVID, I wrote a couple of grants for EQT, which I think they kicked us out because of our, I even had to get with Josh, what is our, I know we were a 501c3, but then it was all these other questions. And so we weren't able to do that, but we did get a grant with Southwest Energy. And so I have been trying to write grants. A lot of the grants are my specialty, but I do have a little bit of experience since I sign off on them all the time for the YWCA. But I do really enjoy being a member here, and this is a club that I'm definitely going to stay a part of. Maybe not as active in the next couple of years, but after that, I intend to be more active and hopefully, be able to continue to grow with the organization. And I really like that Ashley has the enthusiasm that she has, and everyone comes, and we all, we're trying to pick up new events that we're having and new opportunities that we do for the community, because we, can see how much all the different businesses bring in and how much everybody, really wants to help. And I agree with Sharon. A couple of years ago, probably before I kind of started getting into some of the boards that I'm on, so I did attend the leadership. I think it's a 3-year program, so I've done 2 out of the 3 years. So I really want to go to the 3rd year, and I get the emails oh, this is the week, and I'm not able to go. But
but I did 2 out of 3 years. I think Joan and I went to a couple of foundation meetings, and you really do meet a lot of people. I think the one foundation meeting that I went to, Bob Robinson's brother was sitting beside of me, and they looked just alike. And I was like, wait, I recognize you. And then he said his last name was Robinson, and I was like, do you know Bob Robinson? He's like, that's my brother. And so I think he does a lot with the Cheat Lake Rotary in Morgantown. And so you do meet a lot of people, and they're always willing to get, advice or help you out. And I think for us, the biggest thing is service. So I think that's great that you're able to go, or whoever's able to go. But so I just wanted to give a little bit of, I guess what bank I work at, and I took it to the extreme. But so I do work at WesBanco, and I do now, hopefully more and more on municipal lending. So it's exciting. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
So lending is all very new to me. I didn't know that you work for WesBanco though, so I didn't know that, Shelly. But so do most of your customers that are looking for loans come to you, or do you actually have to go out and find these people?
So I guess it's different with the municipalities, they actually get bid out. So you just kind of have to know who does that. There's a couple of, they're called placement agents. So we have someone who's in Charleston, and then someone in Morgantown who kind of bids those out. So say for instance, we'll use City of Moundsville. City of Moundsville is in the process of doing the county commission building, and they're doing the new municipal, I think it's called the municipal building.
Municipal building.
Yeah, and a lot of Brooke County is doing the same thing. Like you read the newspaper and you see like, oh, these buildings are coming out, and then you see, the price tag on them is, $10 million. And typically, so to get into the weeds, there's like, these projects are tax exempt, the municipalities are tax exempt, but then you have the capability of taking them into whether they're bank qualified tax exempt or non-bank qualified tax exempt. If they're bank qualified tax exempt, they actually get a little bit of a lower rate. So really the rate's kind of already discounted by 35%, and that's just like roundabout, if they're tax exempt, but then the rate goes down probably another basis point or another, based on if it's non-bank qualified or bank qualified. So if it's under 10 million, and so each municipality can do up to 10 million a year, and it's their fiscal year. So it's usually from 6/30 to 6/30, not like 12/31 like personal and some businesses, but they have a fiscal year, 12 or 6/30. And if it's under the 10 million and that's what they're doing, then it can qualify for bank qualified tax exempt. So a lot of times you'll see like, oh, well, we're going to finance 9.8 million, and that way they put some of the cash in so they can be the bank qualified, or they're well over that, so they're going to be 14 million or whatever the case is. So anyway, they usually, because it's, obviously the city man, like it is a specialty, and you kind of have to have a lot of bond documents, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. And so the city manager is not going to just like call me up and say, Shelly, do you want this? Usually they have a bond counsel who gets a placement agent, and then they send it out to as many people as they think would be interested in it. So now WesBanco is kind of on that list. We've done it before for some of the clients that were like, oh, well, we bank them, we'll look at doing it, but how competitive can we be? So now we're actually starting to really have a focus on that and work with that. So typically those just go out. As far as 2 years ago, like whenever I had my regular customers, some of the customers that I have like will continue to come like, oh, I'm getting ready. I kind of know, like, I can tell you my customer's going to, if I have an excavating company, all right, they're going to buy, $3 million in equipment this year, just kind of based on their depreciation schedule. So we kind of know what's upcoming or what kind of jobs are upcoming, because at projects, their customers that large, they usually know in advance, like, oh, we won this state road project, we're going to be working on this for 2 years, or whatever the case is. So, but, if somebody like yesterday and I'm in Wheeling, so somebody called loan operations or, whatever, called the 1-800 number for WesBanco. So they're like, oh, we need to ask someone about a loan. So I'm in Wheeling, they know, oh, Shelly John was going through a phone. So it goes to me all the time. So like, it was this guy from Georgia, like, oh, I'm going to buy 25 gas stations. You know what I mean? Like, and so sometimes they're coming in, but like, what's the chances that I'm going to finance $53 million of a 25 gas stations? Like, for a guy in Georgia that I've never met. So I don't know, it's all over the place, like what you see. And But it's exciting because it's never, I mean, kind of with the municipalities, it's kind of more in line, but just with commercial, I mean, I could be, right now I'm working on like a $20 million real estate project. Like I don't do a lot of real estate. I feel like I do more like equipment and stuff, but hopefully I just get to the point where I'm only doing municipalities as this continues to pick up. And so it's all over, but it's crazy sometimes, but it's exciting. I'm never sitting around bored, ever. So.
Is the bank holding the bonds? Is WesBanco fund buying bonds? Are they being sold? to the
So
public?
we, so sometimes they're usually, we hold them on our books as a loan, as what we do. Our trust department will buy some of those. And even things that we don't get, like especially if it's like High County Board of Education and, you know, we don't get all of them. They'll cut them down. So if they have like $45 million in bonds, maybe they're like, okay, this $7 million is in energy, efficiency energy or whatever. And so our trust department will buy some of those as investments, but we're not, and our trust department's very large, but we're not large enough. We would have to be in the trillions to be able to hold them as true investments. So that's kind of why we're, you know, we're competing with like, because even Bank of America, like I'll compete against Bank of America and they'll have like their Bank of America bank, and then sometimes it'll be like Bank of America investments. Like if I'm competing against Bank of America investments, I'm not able to do that. But a lot of the West Virginia, you know, projects usually do go out for like private placement and will go to banks.
Yeah, they're too small. Securitized.
And by small, it's like 25 million. Like it has to be like really large. So it's not like, oh, it's small, it's like a few million. It's like, I mean, we'll see pretty large ones, but I don't really know what that like dollar amount that goes over is. But right now, I mean, you see in the newspaper, like Brooke County is like that. That's what I do. I'm like looking at the newspaper, but by that time we kind of already know because our bonds attorney has said like, oh, we're looking at this. But like Brooke County just announced, I think Tuesday or Monday, that they're going to be doing, you know, reaching out for financing they're reaching out. Usually by that time you see that they're reaching out for bids, meaning they're reaching out for their architect has put it together and now they're going out for construction bids. And then when they get the construction bids back, they're like, okay, this project that we think is going to be around 10 million, it's actually going to be 11.5 million. And then that's when they go out for financing. So it's like this whole big project. But so we kind of know way far in advance, you know, roughly what the dollar amount's going to be and what the term's going to be, and then kind of what our interest is. And it's a lot. I mean, whenever you know, look at doing these larger projects, you really have to, it's a lot. It's not, I don't know. And then we have to, like if I have a loan above 15 million, I have to present in front of our board at the bank. That's on Friday, like this Friday, I have to like present. So you have to like, and you have attorneys and all these people like drilling you with questions. And so it gets your blood pressure up, and then like you're like, okay, that's over. Like hopefully I don't have to do that for another month or whatever. But so yeah, we will purchase some of those, but typically not even 100% of it. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I thank Shelly. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great week. We'll hopefully see you next week. Don't forget about the blood drive. If you want to take a flyer, great. I'll make sure we get it posted on our Rotary page.